Hi guys, this is Klazart bringing another audio commentary, and this time I'm commentating on the MSL Ro32 Arena MSL Group E Game 5. This is the losers final. The winner of this match will go through to the next round. The loser will be out of the MSL. So another must-win match for both players involved, and this is going to be between Shark and Nada. Shark at the bottom right corner of the map playing Zerg in blue at the 5 o'clock position, and Nada at the 11 o'clock position playing Terran at the top left-hand corner of the map. So this is an interesting game. We've got an interesting contest here between these two guys because we have in Nada a player who seems to be playing some pretty solid StarCraft, probably one of the greatest Terran players of all time. And yet, at the same time, a player who seems to be vulnerable to surprise strategies. That's watching the last few games that I have watched of Nada play. It does seem to me like that is where his Achilles heel lies at the moment. He just isn't sharp enough to contend with the severely unexpected, and he was caught off guard by that proxy proxy DT rush in the previous. Not in the first game of this group, and he was caught off before by a DT drop in a previous game as well. So I think that's where his vulnerability lies. On the other hand, Shark is sending a drone out, and I think that Shark might be trying to do something completely insane here because he's sending that drone out very, very early, probably to scout. We might be seeing some sort of a rush build from Shark here, and if he is going for that, that's going to play right into Nada's hands because the positions are cross maps. So it's going to take a long time for him to A, find his opponent's space, and B, actually be able to rush it, and that's what I feel that he's actually trying to do with this severely early scout. He still hasn't decided to put a spawning pool or a hatchery down. He's now sending a second drone out, so maybe he will change his mind and decide to put an expansion down. Maybe he's worried about being rushed himself, and that's why he's scouting so thoroughly and so extensively. So he has now gone for a 12 hatchery build. I thought initially he might be trying to rush, but I think he probably felt that if he didn't see the opponent's base, that would change the way he was going to play the game. Nada, meanwhile, has gone for a 2 racks build, and this is going to be scouted fairly early by Shark, sending that very early scout, and hopefully it'll be an investment that will pay off for him. I personally think it will. So now Shark is in a decent position. I thought he was going to be in a horrible position if he actually was trying to rush, which he wasn't. Nada, meanwhile, continued to scout. He's seen the early drone come into his base from Shark, which would probably lead him to believe that his opponent can't be that far away since the drone has arrived so quickly into his base. He probably wouldn't realize that the cross map is the most likely position. It'll be interesting to see whether Nada continues to scout in a more efficient fashion, going southwards, or whether he goes cross map down to the 7 o'clock position, suspecting his opponent. Looks like he is going southwards with his SCV. So, as I was saying, Nada is a player who does seem to be vulnerable slightly to the unexpected, and it'll be interesting to see how Shark exploits that. And in contrast to that, we have Shark, a player who likes to perform the unexpected, whose forte is in fact the unexpected. So Nada's SCV now finding Shark's space, so he's going to see that main, he's going to see that the spawning pool is still being constructed, and he's probably going to see the natural expo being put down as well. So Nada pushing out with Reens from 2 racks, Shark obviously having gone for the 12 hatch. I'm not sure how vulnerable or not he's going to be. Nada taking out the sunken just at his choke, the neutral sunken, just to get rid of the creep there. Meanwhile, Shark has started up his extractor. So I think that this is going to be an interesting game, especially since Nada has gone for 2 racks. He's going to have to Shark now putting on the 3rd hatchery. Nada's going to have to apply some pressure early on. So Nada decided to go for the command center now. So he's gone for a 2 racks into CC build, and I think that's because he's seen what his opponent has done, and he's seen his opponent's position. And just as I was going to say, that I thought it would be very difficult for Nada to really put a lot of pressure on his opponent with only 2 racks from his main. The other thing is, this is Colloseum. It's a new map. It's completely unpredictable. I haven't seen anything like this before. It's just got loads of interesting features, and it'll be fascinating to see how these two players exploit it to the maximum benefit. And I think we'll have lots of room for different strategies. So if we see a player doing something crazy, we might think it's crazy, but remember, the players have practiced on these maps and have practiced their strategies, and there's no doubt in my mind that Nada is working to a specific tune, that he isn't just putting down buildings at random, as it were. So as I was saying, Nada is the player who we would consider to be possibly vulnerable to surprise attacks. Nada bringing a couple of SCVs out just to block his Marines, and I think that's a great idea from him, as we see group Zerglings off Sharks heading towards his base. Nada now sending the SCV to scout ahead. He spotted the Zerglings, so he's going to pull back. So he's going to have those SCVs to shield his Marines, and he should be able to defend quite comfortably here if Shark does decide to go in with those Zerglings. Nada just sending that SCV up the ramp to get vision on the Zergling that was positioned there, scouting Nada's troops and killing it. So great play by Nada there. Shark has managed to get that Overlord over to Nada's natural expo and seen that Nada's put that command center down. So I think Shark, having seen the 2 racks build, probably would not have suspected that that's what Nada would do. Meanwhile, Shark has started teching till there at his National Expo. The only thing that worries me about this game so far is that even though Nada has gone for the expansion, he has not really harassed his opponent at all, and I think he's going to have a difficult time doing this. He's got the academy up now, so he should have a couple of medics out soon. But if he doesn't put some pressure on Shark soon, then he's going to find that Shark isn't going to be able to get that Mutalist Harass in, and a very effective Mutalist Harass in. Nada really needs to push out a little bit and try and force Shark into putting at least a couple of Sunkens down. Shark seems to be playing a more aggressive strategy in order to defend himself against Nada. We haven't seen the Spire go down yet, but it looks like it's going to go down now. The Spire going down for Shark as predicted. So Shark in a pretty decent position. He's managed to get a 12 hash build going, got his Spire building. He hasn't had to invest any resources in Sunken thus far. Nada's got almost a full group of Medic and Marines out. Shark just sending the SCV to try and scout. That SCV is going to get stopped by the group of Zerglings of Shark. Shark intercepts the SCV, stops it. I do feel that Shark is probably the luckier of the two in terms of getting through to this round. Yes, he did effect an incisive attack against Goodfriend, but really Goodfriend did dominate that game throughout. He kept Shark from getting a third expansion. He made Shark's Mutalist Harass seem quite impotent, which is really what it was. And yet in the end, Shark managed to catch him off guard and come through. So it'll be interesting. So Nada's got a couple of firebats. So Nada taking slight risk here. Shark has got a massive group of Zerglings, and they look to be speed upgraded. And Nada might be in a little bit of trouble here because Shark is pushing out with a massive group of Zerglings. He's got a couple of Sunkens out. They aren't in a line. If Nada focuses on only one on one side, he might be able to break through. But I'm not sure what he's going to have in terms of defense. He's got a couple of firebats there and a couple of Marines, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to enough to stand against that group of Shark's Zerglings. So Shark's Zerglings getting through. He's managed to get a group of Zerglings into Nada's Natural Expo. Nada does have a couple of firebats and Marines. He's going to be pulling his SCVs back. It'll be interesting how much damage Shark can do so far. So far, he hasn't killed a single SCV. Nada, meanwhile, holding off because he's had to focus his concentration in terms of microing at his Natural Expo in defense. But he's doing a great job of it so far. He's taken very little hits to his economy. Now he's managed to supplement those firebats and medics, Marines with a couple of medics. So he should be okay. So this counterattack from Shark is going to come to naught. But unfortunately for Nada, he's got that group of medic and Marines stranded there. Shark has put down Sunkens. He's got about 3 at least, 4 Sunkens down. And we're going to be seeing Mutalists pop out very soon for Shark. And Nada in a little bit of trouble here because those Zerglings continue to harass Nada, and he hasn't got any air defense to speak of. He doesn't have an engineering base, as far as I can tell, nor does he have any turrets. So Nada might be in a little bit of trouble here. He does have it, and he's also got, okay, he does have his engineering bay up. I missed that. So he's got his engineering bay up, so he might be able to get turrets up in time for that Mutalist Harass heading his way. He's pulled back his Medic and Marine group, and I think that's the right decision because they would just be picked off by Shark's Mutalisks. But Nada, unable to do any damage to his opponent. He has defended successfully, though not taking too much damage to his economy. And I think that scan going on from Nada, I think he's seen that Mutalist covering there with that scan, and he's managed to buy himself just the right amount of time, I think, hopefully to get his defenses in place. He's only got